Hello, thriving third graders. It is that time again for us to learn a new batch of words. The really cool thing is, I have been hearing from your teachers that you are using the words that you're learning. You're using them in your classroom. You're using them out at recess. You're even using them in your own writing. I hear things like, my students are finding these words in their expert books. My writers are using these words in their expert notebooks. This is exactly why we learn words so well that we can use them, right? So awesome. So let's start with our just getting familiar with our new words. And your job is to think, how well do I know this word? Are you ready? Thumbs up. Here we go. The first word is reproduce. Think to yourself, do I know it so well? Or do I have to really, really pay attention and study this word? The next word is general. And we're going to use this word like we see in gorillas, kind of like you would use this word like in general. In general, yeah, something that we should know. Observe. What about defend? I bet you've heard that word, especially if you play sports or video games, you're defending something. But can you really use it and understand it? You have to think. Enforce. So readers and writers, let's get started. Let's get started with our first word to know it really, really well. The first word is reproduce. And I am going to, add a little something to our learning new words because I know we are reading nonfiction books. In nonfiction books, we probably come up with a lot of words that we don't hear and use every day because experts are talking about something that isn't used every day. So I am going to teach you, or maybe remind you, because you probably already know this, that readers don't mumble over a word they might not know. No, they stop and they work to solve it. Okay, so let's just try one strategy. So, one strategy that a reader will use is they will chunk the word. I come to the word, I don't know what it is. I'm going to break it apart into little pieces that I might be able to then put together to make the word. So let's think of the word reproduce. I know that RE in the front of words is re. Then I also know pro. Re, pro. And then maybe I'm thinking of like Mrs. Bruce, deuce, right? And I also know that that C, if an E comes after it, it makes the S sound. So now I have reproduce. Now listen, in your books, you might not be able to pull them apart, but you can use your hand to cover and make sure that you're not mumbling over words, but you're really trying to solve it. And then you work really hard to put those pieces back together so that you can at least make sure that you're hearing the word correctly, right? So reproduce, reproduce, and then we work hard to put it back together, and then we go in and read that sentence right over so that it's making sense. That's half the battle in these nonfiction books, aren't they? Because some of the words are really hard, but don't skip them because every word holds meaning. Okay, so let's think of reproduce. Reproduce means to give birth, right? It's like over and over again, like maybe a person or an animal or a plant, and it just reproduces over and over and over again so that we have more living things. So in the book, Gorillas, we find that gorillas reached adulthood. Like when they reach adulthood, they are able to reproduce, right? Like have babies on their own over and over and over again. Reproduce. It's very important that things regenerate or reproduce so that it continues to grow. Reproduce. To give birth over and over and over again. A plant dies and it reproduces. All right, so if I say something, here's my favorite part. You have to really think, do I know this word? Let's think about some things that we might say. And you are going to decide, hey, does that go with reproduce? Would I use the word reproduce in this situation? You ready? Okay. Cut flowers in a vase. Do they reproduce? Oh, I wonder what Nolan is thinking, or Caitlin, or Mason. All right, turn to your partner and tell them, what do you think? Would we use the word reproduce if we were talking about cut flowers in a vase? Oh, did I hear Cami say? I don't think I would use the word reproduce with cut flowers because you know what? Cut flowers can't reproduce. They can't make new flowers because they're cut. Now, some of you might have said, though, you might be able to take a seed if that flower has a seed and you planted it and then it reproduced. See, it's not about being right or wrong. It's being able to think, reproduce, what does it mean? And can I explain my answer to show what it means? Nice work. Nice work, readers and writers. Okay, let's think about this one. A tomato plant in my garden. Reproduce. To give birth or to grow over and over again. Turn and talk. Well, you know what I heard Jeffrey say? He said, of course I would use the word reproduce with a tomato plant in my garden because tomatoes keep coming up and reproducing. Now, maybe Allison said, well, if the tomato plant was dead, then it wouldn't reproduce. And you're right. You see how we think about the word in all the possibilities, and then we explain our answer. Nice work. Okay, here we go. A carton of milk in my refrigerator. Turn and talk. All right. So I heard Miles say, no, I can't even find a way to think about how milk would reproduce because milk doesn't grow over and over again. You're right. Milk can't reproduce. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, readers and writers, today we learned 5 new words that we're going to learn really well so that you can use them in your expert books, right? And we also are learning as nonfiction readers that we don't just stumble across a word we don't know. We stop and really try to figure it out. And one strategy is just by chunking. Chunk the word into smaller parts so that you can try to solve it. All right. Until next time.